iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Welcome in here, race fans. As you see it, it is the Talladega Super Speedway, one of the fastest tracks the NASCAR circuit heads to. And, of course, right here on the iRacing.com platform, we will head to the Talladega Super Speedway here virtually tonight for the Your Ad 250 to be a part of the John Garrett's Ride. To bring you all the racing action here tonight from the virtual Talladega Super Speedway, my name is Roger Muth, and alongside me, it's the voice that you may know a little bit more than me. It's Dave in the Cave. Dave, welcome to the virtual Talladega Super Speedway for a great part to be part of something in the real world.
Yeah, glad to be here, Roger. Thanks for being here with us tonight. Going to bring a whole nother aspect to the way things go down on the track. Got two of us to bounce some ideas back and forth with. We've got a handful of drivers out there that many of us out there in the TV audience may know. Familiar faces and names from the Colonial Clash Racing Series can be found each and every Wednesday night right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. But with all the league stuff aside, tonight, special event, as you already said, this somewhat of a fundraiser race here for John Garrett, one of the competitors in the field, fielding an ARCA car throughout many of the different races throughout the ARCA season this year. And Roger, he's going to be next on the track at Kansas. September 10th is when that race is going to go down, and this race is all about getting your name on the car. Can you get yourself some free merchandise? We've got some pretty cool hats, some really great racing shirts out there to give to the top five at the end of tonight's race. So come on, right along. Let's have a little bit of fun. Anybody that you've had your eye on out there so far tonight?
Yeah, I've been watching that number 2 Chevrolet driven by David. Oh, wait, Dave, that's you. You can't be out there and here at the same time. That's not possible at all. But you know what? It's all these drivers tonight that I'm going to be watching. The greatest part about myself being here is I'm not a regular on calling the races for these guys. I did get to fill in before you headed to Pocono, so I did get a little bit of a glimpse on seeing what these drivers are able to do. But right now, during our qualifying session, John Garrett actually himself is at the top of the pylon here at Talladega as we get ready to go racing here tonight. Of course, you did talk about the John Garrett giving away some t-shirts and some hats. Of course, that is brought to us by our friends over at Fort Worth Screen Printing. If you need hats, you need shirts, and look no further, the People over at the Fort Worth Screen Printing, they have you covered for all your merchandise needs. Race fans, make sure to go over there, give them a like. Make sure to hop on over to their website and also see all the merchandise that they do have. But as qualifying starts to wrap down here tonight at the Talladega Superspeedway, we'll take a quick break here from Talladega, and we'll be back after our national anthems with some high horsepower racing right here from the largest track on the schedule.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rackets regular, the boats bursting in out, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Welcome back here, race fans, to the Talladega Super Speedway. Qualifying officially in the books here tonight. All the drivers in tonight's race have taken a qualifying time, so it is just about time to head down to our grid here tonight as we throw it down trackside for our Pro Cup Racing Experience starting lineup.
Snatching the pole position, rolling off from inside row number 1, your pole sitter tonight inside the Fort Worth Screen Printing Esports 66 machine, John Garrett. Thad Failer in the 77 machine, he'll start just to his outside with Blake Henderson. In Wes Fuller rounding out row number 2, Mark Parkhurst gonna start inside row number 3 with John Gutekunst in the 41 machine just to his outside. 47 of Dustin Franklin rolls off 7th with Richard Clement. Following him to the outside, he'll roll off number 8. Back in row number 5, the 04 of Ambrose Niebel. And the last action hero, Johnny James. Rounding out the field here tonight will be Nathan Estep and Scott Baker in the 5 machine. Mr. Muth, you're not out there on the starting grid. Neither am I. Cutaway cars being included in the car count. Want to give a big tip of the cap and special thanks to our race control. Just down the hall from you over there, Roger, Mr. Deegan Miller pulling the admin duty. He's going to keep all these drivers straight here tonight. So that will be your starting lineup.
So with the starting lineup in the books, tonight we do have the Xfinity cars here for all these drivers. And, of course, with the Xfinity cars, we have the Chevy Camaro, the Ford Mustang, and the Toyota. Is that a Corolla? Oh, it is a Supra, actually, Dave. So 3 different manufacturers are being represented here today throughout the field. A lot of Chevys, a lot of Fords, and there's only one lone Toyota out there. Parkhurst is the only driver that is driving a Toyota, so no manufacturer alliance here for him.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, Roger, typically on Wednesday nights when we see these drivers in the Truck Series, it's a very Chevy-heavy field. And I believe Parkhurst is one of those very few drivers that sports that Tundra each and every Wednesday night. So not too much of a surprise for me to see him out there with that Toyota emblem on the front. I don't think manufacturer help is going to come into play here tonight. I think everybody's going to have to work with each other. Very long night ahead of us. 94 laps around this 2.5 mile high-banked horsepower track. I mean, it's going to be high speeds left and right. Drivers should probably try to stay single file for a while, but we'll see if anybody's got an itch to jump to the front.
We do have 2 fast repairs here tonight for these drivers if they were to get wrapped up in what we always like to call the big one. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when these drivers will get into the big one here tonight. As you see them all assembled 2x2 down the back straightaway. It is going to be 12 cars deep here tonight at Talladega Super Speedway. So all these drivers are going to have to draft, and this is not like NASCAR. If you want to go ahead and lock horns with somebody and literally tandem draft, as they were to call it here at Talladega, you can do that here tonight. The problem is, don't bump me in the tri-oval. The tri-oval here tonight may be the tricky spot, and maybe off the corners here of turns number 2 and 4, they could get a little loose up underneath with the car up underneath the back end of the car in front of them. So we'll see here as we come down the front, or come down out of turn number 4 to enter the front straightaway. You got to remember, this is not like your typical racetrack because, well, you would think right in the middle of the tri-oval is where we would put the start-finish line. Not here at Talladega. We like to be a little bit different when we come here to the Talladega Super Speedway. We put it about 3/4 of the way down the front straightaway, almost down into turn number 1. As you see, the iRacing.com official Chevy Silverado pace truck will make its way to pit road. So that means this time by, we drop the hammer and light the fire underneath these hoods.
Yeah, driver's going to nail the loud pedal. Got to work their way to the Geico restart zone. A little bit further down, as you mentioned, we're going to get ready to hit that restart zone here in just a second. There we go, and driver's going to wait for the green flag to fly, and there it is. Green flag flies here from Talladega as John Garrett grabs a gear and gets going. The 25 of Blake Henderson right on his rear deck lid. Outside lane not getting going. The 77 dropping back a little bit, and he'll drop from the high side back down to third on that inside lane.
A lot of these drivers taking it easy here on the first initial start here tonight at Talladega. Just looks like, well, 3 cars left to the outside lane. Everybody else already filing down to the bottom side, making that conveyor belt effect down to the bottom side of the speedway as we work down the back straightaway for the first time here tonight. See everybody organized down on the bottom. Just those 3 lone solo heroes up to the outside right now, and neither one of them are trying to push their way to the front. Right now, that is the 35. Wes Fuller is pulling the outside train. John G is to the outside there, and also, and I believe that is Clement up there on the outside. So those are the 3 cars stuck to the outside right now. Back around here to the stripe, though. Lap number 1 about to go in the books here tonight at Talladega, and it will be led by the number 66. That's John Garrett leading lap number 1 here tonight.
And pole sitter going to put lap number 1 in his back pocket. As you said, those 3 drivers just on the outside, all alone, all by themselves, not really pushing any issues right now, but you'll notice they are starting to gain some ground, and it looks like some troubles there for the 77 of Thad Failer. Failer going to drop out from that 3rd spot inside lane. He's going to drop back, and he's going to be in danger of possibly losing the draft as they head to turn 3. The 35 of Fuller gets right there to the rear deck lid, but not quite going to have the momentum. He's going to stay stuck on the high side with Garrett leading him off of 4.
Rush hour traffic is exactly what it looks like here on lap number 2 as they come through the tri-oval. They're still all going to be chasing that Fort Worth screen printing entry. John Garrett is out front here. He'll lead lap number 2 at the line, but it was just by about a half a car length over the number 35 of Wes Fuller. See it right now. You have them 2 by 2 by 2 for the first 4 rows here. Call it 5 rows just about. Oh, no, it's just the 4 rows right now as that inside lane down on the bottom side through turns 1 and 2 starting to edge ahead a little bit. They have more cars. They got more momentum. Right now, it is still going to be an 11-car front pack here. Thad Failer has fallen off the back end about a second and a half. Nathan Estep is in the bumper seat right now of that to happen to the Circle B diecast number 55. Right there, you see Nathan Estep. He is the, well, call him kind of the caboose right now of the train. Thad Failer actually starting now to reel back in that front group. So the big draft pack here tonight is starting to pull Failer back into the mix.
Yeah, and I thought he was going to be dangerously close. He was flirting with it there for a minute, Roger. He was about a half a second or so off of Estep's bumper. And once you really get about that half a second to right around 8/10, I know it doesn't sound like a whole lot, but that's when these drivers are grouped up and got that RPM just sailing off into these corners and down the front stretches. It's very hard to close back in. The draft isn't that big in these Xfinity cars. They do punch a pretty big hole in the air. So look for runs to really develop throughout tonight's race, but doing a good job keeping a sniff of the draft in front of him. Thad Failer does stay with Estep, and it looks like that Circle B diecast machine has got a little help in front of him. Scott Baker looks to stay out of harm's way, and right there running in that 11th position, still stacked up at the front with Garrett leading back across the stripe.
It'll be Garrett, Fuller, and Henderson, your top 3 as they hit the stripe that time. We're working lap number 5 here on the 94 schedule tonight. The Fort Worth screen printing entry still out front here tonight. He's not the only Fort Worth screen printing entry, though, into the field. I believe I do see one of them back there. That is Dustin Franklin. He is also driving car number 47 here tonight, also representing the Fort Worth screen printing colors on car number 74. There you see him, the driver out of Greenville, South Carolina. He is currently up into the 6th spot. He's picked up 1 spot here tonight. 1 driver down onto the apron. I believe that was the Wendy's car. I think he was trying to pick up one of those $5 biggie bags.
Yeah, biggie bags not allowed during green flag racing. You might be able to snatch a protein bar and get a bite or 2 of it real quick, but I don't think anybody's going to be eating any junior bacon cheeseburgers, but maybe a strawberry frosty in victory lane if that 25 can park it tonight at the top of the speed charts, but a long way to go still here tonight. Lap number 6 now just underway. A lot of movement on that inside lane out of those the 25 and the 23, a lot of movement out of them. The tail end's getting a little bit happy here. And Roger, it's not a surprise that Garrett's able to stay out front and keep a little pace. He's got a little bit of an advantage over these guys. He did run the ARCA race this year here at Talladega. It was a little bit shortened due to some on-track complications is what we'll call it. None of Garrett's fault, and he was not caught up in it. But he's used to being up in this high-paced pack here at Talladega.
Yeah, a lot of these drivers here tonight, the closest they've gotten to driving at the Talladega Superspeedway is right here virtually on the iRacing.com platform. And, well, that may get your heart pounding, but John Garrett has been behind the wheel of one of these fire-breathing beasts right here at Talladega, experiencing the G-forces and the rumble, the wind that would wrap across my bald head if you weren't wearing a helmet. So he may have a little bit of an advantage. Some of these drivers' heart rates may be pounding a little bit here tonight at Talladega because it is close battling all throughout the field. Look at it as they're stacked up down the back straightaway. Still 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 for the first 5 rows here. And then we have 2 single file cars back there of Scott Baker and Thad Failer, who has now caught back into the group. He has passed the number 5 of Scott Baker. But here we go. We're come back out onto the front straightaway. We will complete lap number 7 this time as the Wendy's Biggie Bag still pushing on the Fort Worth screen printing number 66. John Garrett has led every lap, every time by the timing and scoring stripe, and he will do it once again here tonight. He'll lead this time by. And, you know, for a driver that was really late to what we're called driver warm-ups here tonight, John Garrett is holding a pretty steady wheel out in front of the field.
Yeah, holding a pretty wheel and holding the field at bay for the moment, but a big run off of 2 Gutekunst with a big push on the 35 of Fuller. Going to put that Ford Mustang top of the speed charts for a moment, but the inside lane, typical moves here. It's going to accordion right back to the front. Here comes the run by Garrett on the bottom. The 25 right there still with him. So Henderson, a good pusher here tonight. That's something some of these spotters high above the racetrack are going to take notice of. And more importantly, Roger, I know it's we've got a little bit of a ways to go here, only working lap number 9 when we cross the line. 8 in the bag as Garrett puts another one in his back pocket. But green flag pit stops. These guys have 50% fuel load here tonight in these Xfinity cars, so they're going to be able to carry it, I would say, somewhere around lap 20-ish to 25. We should see drivers start to hit pit lane. And side by side, it's going to be pretty tough to get yourself to pit lane. Look for it to go single file. I would say here in about another 7 or 8 laps, we should see drivers begin to try to make that strategy call and try to work their way to a better entry to pit lane.
So you talk about the drivers and coming to pit road possibly here in just a little while. Do you want to come with a group? Do you want to come by yourself? And how far do you try and push yourself to the front of this field to try and maybe have a good spot?
Well, I mean, if we learned anything earlier today, you know, the big boy NASCAR guys, they were rained out Sunday night. They raced at Daytona this morning. The final 20-something or so laps were ran this morning, and we seen during a green flag pit stop, or actually it was a lot more than 20 laps. I apologize on that one, but fake news, and we'll move on. Smaller numbers prevailed at Daytona, so I don't know if any of these drivers may be thinking about that, maybe possibly trying to shake a few of them in the field, maybe stay out a lap longer trying to save some fuel. But the driver that's not going to be able to save fuel right now, he's going to have to come when he's got to come. The 66 leading here, he's not going to be able to save any type of fuel. But, you know, you take that 23, third car inside lane, he's going to be off the gas quite a bit more than the drivers in front of him. So possibly somewhere around that Dustin Franklin area, Mark Parkhurst, we may see some of those drivers try to run one extra lap and get a little less car count coming to pit lane as we work our way back off of turn number 2. The pole sitter still leads that outside lane, still fighting hard, being led by Wes Fuller, the fast Ford Mustang. Up in front of the field, Blake Henderson down there on the inside of the next Ford Mustang. So we've got the Fords represented well here. It's a 2-on-2 at the front.
Ford just nosing ahead there for Fuller for a second. Now it's going to be the 66 getting the run out of turn number 4 and back to the front straightaway. Through the tri-oval they come. The Fort Worth Screen Printing Goose Graphics entry is back out front, and he'll lead once again here today at Talladega. So that'll put 11 laps officially in the books here tonight, and it has been all John Garrett so far leading the way. Blake Henderson has been pushing on the back bumper of that Ford Mustang here tonight, and Fuller has led the outside lane for a majority of this one. So this time by, look for a call at the halfway point here before we start to see our cars coming to pit road. And I think right now the driver that's in the catbird seat is definitely going to be John Garrett as well. He's led all the laps so far, and he has not had Blake Henderson at all try to step out of line off the back bumper of that Chevy Camaro. So maybe they got a little bit of an alliance working out here tonight to work down around the bottom and help themselves. But that outside lane has started to dissipate just a little bit. Wes Fuller has started to fall back. Still has all the drivers in that outside lane, just everybody not linked up and synced up as they're bobbing and weaving on the inside lane. Henderson took a peek to the inside there, but you cannot go below that yellow line.
Yeah, bobbing and weaving, sticking and moving down on the inside lane. The 4 cars on the top now going to be joined by that 77 of Thad Failer, making a 5-car train on the high side. We've got about 5, what is that, maybe 6 or 7? 6, yeah, 7. I can count, I promise, Roger. I know I can count. I got enough fingers.
Right, Dave, right. But we're on lap number 13 right now as we're coming to complete this one. Everybody's still minding their P's and Q's. Yeah, we're stacked up 2 by 2 all the way back through the field here tonight. A little bit smaller field, but I still think once we do get to those green flag pit stops that are coming here tonight, I do think pit road is going to get very, very busy. Knock another one down, put it in the 66 pocketbook here tonight. No award, though, for leading the most laps. You have to lead that last one tonight.
Yeah, nobody wins it earlier than lap number 94, and who knows, we may need a handful more laps at the end of this thing. A few green-white checkers are allotted to the drivers in the field here tonight. Maybe we'll see it, maybe we won't. So far, clean and green for the first 13 laps that are in the bag, working lap number 14 off of turn number 4. John Garrett continuing to lead the 25 of Blake Henderson. That outside lane, Roger, it's just not getting there. You know, it falls back, it gains that momentum, that energy, it surges to the front, and then after about 5 laps or so, it just kind of goes away.
Well, I think the outside lane gets a run like they are right now. Every time you see the 25 of Henderson kind of jockey down on the bottom side, right off the 66 back bumper, that really allows that outside lane to really get the momentum because it breaks the inside lane's momentum. That slipstream that they do have down there, the momentum it's just built up. It gets broken. The outside lane sticks a little more, we'll call it formal, and then they get that run up there. But the problem is they're not really trying to generate that big run on the outside. They just get the run when the bottom lane breaks theirs. You see them kind of bobbing and weaving now. Both lanes not quite organized as they'd like to be, but they will come back around this time by and complete another one. The inside lane now starting to surge ahead. You see the 25, the spicy chicken nuggets are back. That is right. I love the spicy chicken nuggets when I go to Wendy's.
I honestly, I can't tell you if those spicy chicken nuggets are any good. I do not typically head to Wendy's, but that doesn't mean that I haven't had those strawberry frosties. I'll tell you what, I made a special trip a few weeks ago to get one of those strawberry frosties, and if you haven't had one yet, you're missing out. I can promise you that. Not missing out on leading any lap so far here today, though, is that 66 Fort Worth screen printing machine out front. Your pole sitter, John Garrett, continues to show the way. Gonna drag it. Looks to the top 3 to 4. That inside lane. And we'll continue to stay side by side. Nobody really looking for pit lane just yet. Lap number 17 now.
So as they complete another one here, John Garrett leading the way. Those pushes coming from Blake Henderson are a little bit more give him a little bit more rough shot in the back end of that 66, trying to keep it rolling along here tonight. They pull up side by side, though, because here comes Wes Fuller once again. A couple drivers that are running about the mid-pack here tonight, just kind of minding their P's and Q's. There's the 55. That is Nathan Estep. Dustin Franklin is also sitting right there in the back. You see, there goes the number 55. He goes from the inside lane to the outside. That's going to put that 04 machine Ambrose down onto the bottom side, so they will switch lanes here. Maybe they can see if they can get each other's lanes moving just a little bit faster here tonight. Probably about, call it at least seven or so laps from green flag pit stops.
Yeah, 2 real big moves right there. A big move from the bottom to the top by that Circle B diecast number 55 of Nathan Estep, and then followed up by a big move to the bottom by Ambrose Nebel. Nebel going to take a shot at the inside lane. The Marlboro 04 has been on the high side for quite some time. Maybe has had enough of it. It looks for a little space on the inside. He'll ride, I believe that's going to be 5th car back on the inside lane now, and that inside lane really starting to surge forward, Roger. You can see that 35 struggling to keep pace, and here comes a move by Dustin Franklin, the fellow Fort Worth screen printing esports driver. Going to head towards the front, and here comes that Wendy's machine. He's going to drop John Garrett and head to the outside. Big run coming now as the 25 tries to take the lead for the first time.
I think timing and scoring just broke for the first time here tonight, as Blake Henderson was the driver that was able to lead that time by just by the splitter. It might have been by one of those spicy chicken nuggets just off the front splitter of that Ford Mustang. As you see him work down the back straight away, Nathan Estep going to step out of line. There go 3 wide racing back there from right around the 6th, 7th, and 8th positions currently here. So Estep going to rock it around the outside here, see if he can get a little momentum built up, if he can pick up a couple spots. spots, and it looks like he will be able to pick up one spot for the time being, but how long will the outside lane still be able to rim ride around the outside? That 35, though, Wes Fuller, he has been bumped down a little bit. He's all the way back down into the 6th spot after now leading the first 19 laps on the outside of the front row.
Yeah, the moves to get around Fuller forced him a little further in the field, but it looks like we may be having some radar issues. It looks like I'm hearing on the radio some of these drivers seeing some rain out there, or their crew chief seeing a little bit of rain, because the racing intensity has picked up, and with no stages here tonight, Roger, these guys got to run this thing from flag to flag. I mean, obviously, if we get a caution flag, that's going to slow things to a crawl for a moment, but drivers up on the wheel right here as we get closer to our first round of green flag pit stops, and just like that, it's going to break up almost 3 wide on the front stretch.
Yeah, there's still the 55 of Nathan Estep still to the outside lane there. There you still have the number 41. John G., he has fallen back a little bit. Baker's still hanging out at the back of the field also, so he's just kind of sitting around, riding around for the time being, as the front group has gone single file, and I say that, and then Ambrose can scoot out from the inside lane. He'll now ride the middle lane. He'll try and pull the number 25 of Blake Henderson back to the front of the field. There's the Tropicana, number 23, Parkhurst. Now, rolling the bottom hill is the second car in line.
Second car in line. He's been the third car on the inside lane for the majority of the start of tonight's race. Still holding a pretty wheel at the front, though, is John Garrett. He'll take back that race lead, continue to control tonight's race. And the 04, who made some moves from the top to the bottom, he's going to make a move back to the top, and he looks for the race lead as we cross the line. Lap number 22 now goes on the board. The 04 hugging that dotted line right there, that second lane, Roger. To me, that's the lane that typically has a lot more momentum than the rest. That extreme high line, you give up a little bit of ground, you go in the long way around, but I tend to find that middle lane is really the lane that surges forward, as we now got 3 wide action in the back with Nathan Estep making it 3 wide. The 25 is going to get shuffled out. The Wendy's machine going to be top side, 3 wide here as John Garrett moves off the bottom. He'll cover the run from the middle lane. The 04 right on his rear bumper.
So as he blocks that middle lane, he'll go back down to the bottom side here because he sees the Tropicana number 23 getting bigger and bigger in his mirror. And that time it will actually be Ambrose leading that time by at the line. So our third leader here tonight at Talladega on lap number 22 will go to that 04. Ambrose leading his first laps of the night, sneaking one away from the John Garrett machine, who's still rolling the bottom side of the speedway. 3 wide battle. Here comes the number 26. That's the Wendy's, or 25, excuse me. That's the 25 Wendy's machine to the outside. And look at the 55. There he is. That's Nathan Estep. He has now made it to the front because we got the train rolling here tonight. We are 3 by 3 by 3 rows deep.
3 wide, 3 rows deep. 25, 55, and 41 on the high side of the track. That run was initiated by Gutekunst and Estep. They were the ones that stepped it 3 wide first. The 25 just kind of got shuffled out of line, and fortunate enough to be picked up or have these drivers not put it in a 4 wide situation and leave him leading that high side. We'll stay 3 wide all the way through 1 and 2. We'll head down the backstretch 3 wide once again. And Roger, we've got pit stops looming in the air. 3 wide is not how you want to be, but it looks like a few drivers not really worrying about the fuel tanks at this point.
Did I hear you say 4 wide? 4 wide is possible, but it's absolutely crazy here. If we were to get to that 4 wide situation, I've only ever seen it work a handful of times here. As this time by, we're going to come to complete lap number 24, and it'll be the drag race between the front 2 here. That's the 04 of Ambrose to the middle. We'll call it the middle lane there. Call it the outside lane, I guess, if you really want. At the line, give it to Ambrose. He'll lead another one here tonight at Talladega with the outside lane all by himself. Now he'll get a little help. Here comes the 55 of Estep. He'll step out of line here. He'll try to help the number 25 of Henderson. Here comes the 35 now also back to the top. Here comes Fuller. He was shuffled out. Now he's trying to come back to the front.
And it looks like what's happening here for that outside lane to get those really big runs that we're seeing, it looks like that second or third car in the middle lane, instead of checking up and pushing, is going right to the high side and right around into the 2 in the middle, going to get gobbled up now. The old sucker hole move right there as Dustin Franklin heads towards the tail end. The 25, Wendy's Machine going to keep that top spot on the track, and John Garrett still leads the inside lane to Tropicana number 23 right behind him. Another great pusher here tonight. Blake Henderson doing a really good job, man. I mean, he hasn't had really any big pushes, hasn't really had to lay the bumper to anybody, and we haven't seen anybody really poking the left or the right side of these cars out, trying to get some air. That's something we haven't spoke about yet here tonight, is that oil temperature, that water temperature. How hard can you push? How long can you push? How much can you stay tucked up and underneath the car in front of you? And right now, it looks like for quite some time, Nathan Eastep going to give a big shove to the 25. The Wendy's Machine going to surge on the front stretch, and he's going to grab that top spot away as we make our way through the triangle back across the stripe. Lap 27 now underway.
Henderson leads it at the line, but Nathan Eastep is showing that he can be a great pusher here tonight. So if you were kind of wondering, keeping notes for later in the race, that Circle B diecast, number 55 of Eastep, is one of those drivers that I would take a peek at to try and work something out here tonight to possibly get myself in a better spot. Both cars out front here, John Garrett and Blake Henderson, were both kind of jacked up that time out of turn number 2. Kind of got a little wiggle out of the rear ends of those machines. They'll come out of turn 4 this time. We'll wait to see if anybody is going to hook the left-hand turn and head to pit road here on lap number 27. The pit window is open here, just a handful of laps for these drivers left in the fuel tank. Nobody coming to pit road this time, so they will drag race it through the trial and back to the start-finish line.
Yeah, driver's going to drag race back across the line. Lap number 28 going to go on the board, but we're seeing some well, I don't want to call them movers and losers, comers and goers, more like it. As we mentioned, that Circle B diecast, 55 of Nathan Eastep. He started way in the back of the field, up 7 positions here. So he's a driver looking to get to the front. I know there's going to be crew chiefs and spotters out there that take note of that. If you got somewhere to go at the end of tonight's race, look to try to hook up with that 55. He's going to make some moves. And as we talk about the guys making their way to the front, we've got a handful of them losing a handful of positions. Down 5 spots now is that 77 of Thad Failer. John Gutekunst, the 41 Machine, also down 5 positions. They're going to be your biggest, well, we'll just call it the biggest drop to the back so far. Both of those drivers 5 spots back from where they qualified. 41 Machine now outside of the top 10. He was inside the top 5 moments ago during that 2 and 3 wide little segment we had there. And it looks like with the round of green flag pit stops looming in the air, Roger, it looks like we are starting to see that single file. Woo! And Nathan Eastep going to squeeze into that inside lane.
Yeah, he said, I would like to insert myself right here, and the Henderson Machine will also do the same thing. That'll leave one driver to the outside. That'll be the number 35 of Wes Fuller. Fuller will now be able to go right down around the bottom side. So pit stops, they are coming in the near future. So everybody goes back to the conveyor belt right down around the bottom side of the speedway. And it's John Garrett, Mark Parkhurst, and, of course, Nathan Eastep. Johnny James is up into the 4th spot. Blake Henderson is back into the 5th spot as you see everybody now single file following the race leader down into turn number 1. Take a look here. This is just off about the 5th place machine. This is actually the 5th place machine, number 25 of Blake Henderson. You see the rest of the group back there behind him. You can hear him lifting off the throttle. Everybody's stuck down around the bottom side right now, so you can't be full throttle mid-pack.
Yeah, there you see the 77 of Thad Failer right behind that 25 Wendy's Machine. He's going to be one of the drivers that's probably going to be able to stretch this an extra lap or 2, as he was in the draft for the majority of the green flag laps so far. And we've got drivers breaking a pit road. Here we go. Traffic jam. Will everybody get it? Whoa, down. It looks like the entire field going to come all together, Roger. That is a lot of cars to get to pit road. A little bit of a lock up there by the 23. Was the Tropicana Machine a little quick, as John Garrett, he's going to get passed up by a handful of drivers as we're racing on pit road.
That was Tex book coming to pit road by all these drivers here tonight. A little slow for the 66 of John Garrett as he hits his pit stall as piece P number 1. Thad Failer into that second spot. We're going to see if any of these drivers, it doesn't look like any tires going on for any of these drivers, but they are down there. Down and away is the Tropicana entry. And race off pit road, it would be Parkhurst in the Tropicana number 23 as he'll lead the way. Everybody else going to have to file in behind him as now they will come up through the gears here all the way to 4th gear by the time they hit the back straightaway.
Yeah, and I thought this was going to be the opportunity for drivers to begin to separate themselves a little bit. We see a little bit of separation here from Mark Parkhurst and Blake Henderson. They're going to break out of pit lane and get back up to speed a little bit quicker than anybody else. John Garrett about a half a second off, but he is still within that draft distance. After that, Dustin Franklin, Thad Failer, they're a little bit back. They may be able to catch him, but the guys I'm going to watch out for is Wes Fuller, Nathan Estep, John Gutekunst. They're all right there with each other. Those 3 drivers all tucked up already with each other, Roger. They're going to be coming with a head full of steam. There's 4 of them in that line. A little bit broke up after Estep for the moment. But look for those 4 drivers to get together, and they're going to be coming with a ton of steam and a ton of speed. They do have quite a ways before they can catch back up with your new race leader for the first time here tonight, the 23 of Mark Parkhurst.
Yeah, so for the first time, we see the lone Toyota go to the top of the scoring pylon here tonight. Not quite to the halfway point, but right now it is a 2-car breakaway with Parkhurst and Henderson, and then you see there's 3 cars back here. It's the 47 of Dustin Franklin, Thad Failer, and John Garrett. Something going wrong there for the number 66 of John Garrett. He has gone to the high side of the speedway. He was sitting in 3rd. Now he's back to the 5th spot, possibly trying to pull this second group of, well, we'll call it the 3rd group, I guess it really is. That's Double J, Nathan Estep, Wes, and John. So right now you see the number 66 of John Garrett riding the outside lane here, and it still looks like he is actually slow as the battle, though, is for the race lead here because the 2-car tandems, they are battling 2 by 2 for the race lead.
Yeah, so those 4 drivers all lined up with each other. They're going to make some headway on the guys mixing it up side by side at the front of the field, but indeed some trouble there for the 66 of John Garrett. We're not hearing anything over the radio right now, but you can see it on track as he goes by. He is definitely off pace. Not quite sure what might have happened to that 66. Maybe some troubles getting up through the gears, and now that Fort Worth screen printing machine is
caution is out onto the speedway as Mark Parkhurst down to the infield inside of the speedway. I guess we should really say the Tropicana entry has damage to the right front quarter panel of that Toyota Supra, so that will bring the first caution flag out here this evening. John Garrett may have just caught a lucky break here as the caution flag is flying for the first time on lap number 34. So just after the green flag pit cycle, the caution lights being displayed here tonight. We're taking a look back here and see if we can find what happened to the number 23. Let's watch it back. They were 2 by 2. Henderson down to the bottom side. Just going to catch the quarter panel of that number 23, and 25 goes spinning. They both save it, but it was a close call there for the 25 of Blake Henderson as that Wendy's entry was starting to peel back towards the racetrack.
Yeah, well, a fortunate situation there for the 25. Didn't make any significant contact, really, especially with that, I don't want to say move back up the track, but with that slide, that could have been very bad for him and a handful of people and a handful of drivers behind him, and it looks like a bump draft just kind of gone wrong. And the 23 trying to catch it, and just catches the 25. Both of them going to go around. They will continue on. Damage doesn't look to be bad enough to have to use one of those quick fixes here tonight. That is something that the virtual world lends its hand to, that drivers aren't necessarily given that opportunity when they hit the track on in real life with the big boys. And drivers going to be able to come down and fix their machines and get them back out on track and see if they can't somehow get to the front.
So Dustin Franklin leading a lap here. He'll be the first one to pull into his pit stall in the number 74 Fort Worth screen printing entry, or 47 if you're following along on the timing and scoring. Just a splash of gas and go for the number 74 of Franklin. So he will be the first driver back out onto the raceway. Everybody else will file out appropriately out onto the speedway. And as they do that, race fans, we'll take a quick break here from the Talladega Super Speedway. We'll be back with more racing action here tonight for the You're At Here 250 from Talladega.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back here, race fans, to the Talladega Super Speedway here for You're At Here 250. Be a part of John Garrett's Ride in the ARCA series coming up this year at Kansas. Tonight, we are under our first caution flag of the evening. Couple drivers taking this opportunity to come to pit road, top the fuel cells off as they are all back out onto the speedway. All drivers that took a time here tonight still out onto the speedway. We have not lost any cars. 2 cars did come together there underneath the green flag circumstances, putting us underneath this caution, but both cars were able to come to pit road and get some repairs done to those machines. The 25 of Blake Henderson was involved, and also, I believe, now I'm already forgetting. Oh, it was the 23, the Tropicana machine. There you see him. Still got a little fender damage on that Tropicana number 23. So both drivers still A-OK and out there tonight. So they will continue on. Race fans, if you're tuning in here tonight on the Turn 3 Racing Network YouTube page, we appreciate each and every one of you is tuning in here tonight to watch the great race here at the Talladega Super Speedway. We hope you are enjoying tonight's broadcast as we're ready to go back green flag racing as the Chevy Silverado Pace Truck makes its way to pit road.
Pace truck makes its way to pit road. Drivers make their way through the front stretch through the tri-oval here. Gonna make the long journey to the Geico restart zone, waiting to drop the hammer and all the gas. Green flag flies once again here at Talladega Super Speedway. Lap number 37 now underway. A third of this race already in the bag, and now we've got some newcomers at the front. 47 of Dustin Franklin going to take the lead. He's going to take over where his Fort Worth Screen Printing Esports teammate left off John Garrett. There you can see that 66. He's back right around that 6th position, trying to make his way back up there, but a big run out of that 13. The last action hero, Johnny James, looking to take the lead for the first time down the backstretch. He'll pull Franklin just for a moment. The 04 right on his rear bumper. Not going to be enough to keep that 13 out front, as now Thad Failer with a push on Franklin at the bottom. That's going to give the 74 the edge he needs. And here comes that run once again on the high side, looking to go 3 wide was the 25. He'll stay in line for the time being, and a lot of jockeying for position here on this first lap after the restart. It looks like we'll go 3 wide again to turn 1.
Henderson to the outside, east step right behind him in tow in the 55 entry. John G also up to the top side of the speedway here. Oh, one driver off the bottom side there. That was the 77 of Thad Failer. He was able to gather it all up, though, as we stay green and clean here tonight. Whoa, big moment. The 13 of Double J will go from the middle lane to the bottom lane, but look at the Wendy's Biggie Bag entry. He is making the outside work. That E-step entry, that front bumper must have super glue, because that 55 is one heck of a pusher here tonight.
And it looks like we know who our high side hustlers are now already here tonight. We've seen E-step in that 41 of John Gutekunst to go to the high side and really make some headway and some moves. They're going to push the 25 all the way clear, and he's going to drop from the top all the way to the bottom. Talk about an elevator move right there. He's going to go from 3rd floor all the way down to the 1st floor, and whoa, big push again by the 13. 25 with a block, not going to quite be there in time. Big mix up now. They'll stack up going into turn number 3. 3 wide once again with the 25 stuck in the middle. Outside lane getting a little bit of run. Some help coming to Nebel's aid. The E-step right there once again. He's going to give him a push, but here comes Dustin Franklin making a move. Moving to the outside of Johnny James in the 13. Going to fall back to 2nd, make that 3rd. Here comes a run. The 23 going to join him. Your top 3 now move right around.
You thought the first 20-some laps of this race was pretty calm, a little side-by-side racing action. Well, that has gone absolutely out the window. The floodgates are opening up. You would swear there's probably rain inside of 1 mile of the racetrack here tonight. Look at the 13. He will also now go from the inside back to the middle groove here. Franklin's right there also, but it is all Thad Failer and Mark Parkhurst that are out front right now. They got John Garrett's right there, and Gutekunst is also right there at 41. And, geez, these drivers have been from the front to the back to the top to the bottom and all over the racetrack here as they're come by this time. The complete lap number 40 here tonight at Talladega. And a 1-car sideways. That's going to put the 23 into the inside wall as, boy, a big hit for the number 23 of Parkhurst as he's down there. Thad Failer is down there, and the caution lights are on here at Talladega for the 2nd time tonight.
And for the 2nd time, a push gone wrong. Going to bring out the 2nd caution flag here tonight at Talladega Super Speedway. Looked like just an untimely push there is what brought out that caution on the front stretch. Then you see the hard, heavy impact by both the 77 of Thad Failer and the 23 machine of Mark Parkhurst. Both of those regular drivers in the Colonial Clash Racing Series, very familiar to running with each other. They're used to being in the trucks nose to tail, not necessarily in these Xfinity cars. It's some big trouble for both of those drivers, and I believe we may have a clip of that replay. So, Roger, take us to the replay, and there it is.
Yeah, the 23 just on the back bumper, not quite squared up on the 77 of Thad Failer as they came through the trial. We talked about how that was going to be a tricky spot here tonight for a lot of these drivers. You don't want to push me in the middle of the trial, and you don't want to push me right on the exit of the corner. The car gets a little light in both those spots, and unfortunately, that's what we just had there. Thad Failer going for the ride, right on board. See that super nose just right into the left rear quarter panel. Grass a flying, and then that wall comes up faster, and it is definitely harder than you think it is here at the Talladega Super Speedway.
And it's definitely not as fun as a carnival ride. I know it looks like one of those little tilt-a-whirl spinning machines, but you're not having fun when you're doing about 190 and you go spinning like a top like that. Not quite the way he was picturing his evening going, but fortunately enough, as we mentioned earlier tonight, Roger, these drivers uh, fortunate enough to have some of those quick fixes in their back pocket, and I know of two drivers that are more than likely going to go ahead and burn one of those up this time by as everybody comes back to pit road. Will we see anybody take tires this time? A little bit of a mixed bag. Last time under caution, we had a handful of drivers go ahead and take one of their only two sets of tires on pit road. So tire strategy, not necessarily that big here at Talladega, but with only two sets of freshies on pit lane, you could see tire strategy somewhat come into play as a lot of the drivers begin to go fuel only and make their way off of pit road. Looks like the Double J, Johnny James, the last action hero, will lead the charge off of pit lane. And looks like we've got some contact back in the tail end of this field. John Garrett, we're looking at him still stuck in his pit box right now. Heavy impact, heavy damage on the tail end of that 66.
Yeah, there's nose damage, there's tail damage on the Fort Worth screen, printing number 66 for John Garrett. He is down and away, though his crew gives him the thumbs up, so he's back out onto the raceway. And, oh yeah, there was big damage on the back end of that 66. That, well, I can't even tell you what kind of car that looks like, but I bet you if you put a front end of one of these Fords there, I believe it would possibly fit the description. Not pointing any fingers, but there's a couple of them out there that could have been into the back, and that is some serious damage on the 66. So he will save his quick repair here tonight. We'll see if when we go back green flag racing, if John Garrett is able to hold serve with the field here, as I believe next time by we might see the one to go marker, because I don't see anybody a lap down here tonight. So with that being said, who is the race leader? Well, that's none other than the number 13, the Marines entry of Johnny James. He is your race leader currently here tonight at Talladega as we work our second caution flag of the evening as we're closing in on the halfway point home here in tonight's race. Tonight's race, of course, is your Adhere 250. Be a part of John Garrett's ride at this coming year's Kansas race, if I'm not mistaken, Dave. And, well, a guy that's looking to fulfill a race dream, needing a little help from the race fans.
Yeah, and indeed, it is coming up this year, just around the corner, just a handful of weeks away. September 10th, John Garrett will be hitting the track in the Fort Worth screen printing number 10 machine. He's the number 66 here tonight on the virtual track, but going to be driving behind the wheel of the number 10 car when he heads to Kansas in just a few short weeks. And how about the cool story behind that? Garrett finally being able to truly pursue that racing dream of his, finally in a position to sponsor some cars and get himself out there on the track, running a handful of ARCA races this season. Missed the opportunity when we made the trip up north to head to Pocono. Garrett was at the track, had a pretty decent run going there until some trouble got him behind the 8 ball. A little bit of a slow pit stop at Pocono cost Garrett a handful of positions, but for the majority of it, solid finishes when Garrett does hit the track, and he's looking to try to turn around a little bit of a rough go here tonight after snatching the pole position in the Urad here 250. Led, I don't know how many laps it was at the beginning of this thing, Roger. Upwards of about 20 laps or so is what that 66 led. But ever since then, he's had some trouble, and he's going to have an uphill battle and an uphill climb ahead of himself here tonight. But we'll go back double file as the iRacing Chevy Silverado pace car lights are off, and we're going to get set to fire things off once again here from Talladega Super Speedway. Everybody's still on the lead lap, so still fighting for those top 5 positions is every single entry here tonight. And typically I ask this of anybody that I get the pleasure of working with. calling a race. But Roger, who do you got out there? Who's your pick? And you got to give me one, and you got to give me a dark horse pick. Maybe somebody that you think might be working their way from a little further in the field.
Yes.
Yes, politically correct answer as always, Mr. Muth. I love it there. I tell you what, I'm going to go out on a limb. I hope we don't give them the broadcaster's curse, but I'm liking that Woodard Automotive number 77 machine of Thad Failer. He stayed up front for quite some time. He's going to have to work his way to get there, but we'll see how he goes about it as drivers inch closer to the Geico restart zone. We'll head back under green flag racing conditions, and just like that on the gas, green flag flies once again here from Talladega.
Wes Fuller will come up through the gearbox. A little bit of an awkward start here for a lot of these drivers, as there was only 3 cars stuck to the outside lane on the restart because everybody else came to pit road. Did a little bit of a splash and dash when we got that 1-to-go signal. So it'll be Wes Fuller leading as we come out of turn number 2. Dustin Franklin is right there. Ambrose is there. And Henderson is sitting back into the 4th spot. He steps there. Now a couple of these drivers going to step out of line. They'll go 2 by 2 because here comes the Wendy's Biggie Bag down the back straightaway.
Down the back straightaway, looking for the race lead once again, and now the 41's going to step to the high side. He's going to make it 3 wide for a moment. We've got drivers looking ahead with him. John Garrett right there. There's the 23. He's been on Garrett's rear decklet, that rear spoiler, for the majority of tonight's race, so feels at home. A nice little safe place for him. And there you can see that Circle B Diecast 55 machine now. Nathan Estep looking to grab the lead for the first time here tonight. He's driven from the tail of the field, now up to the front side by side with second place runner Dustin Franklin, as the Goose Graphics number 35 of Wes Fuller continues to lead this race. And we've got some trouble, and Franklin is going to get shuffled out, and he's going to go down to the bottom of the apron, and he's going to lose a ton of track time.
Just a push gone wrong for the Greenville, South Carolina driver, as he will now have to come from the back of the field. But it's not the first time we've seen him come from the back to get to the front. And how long will it take him, though, is going to be the question. Battle for the race lead. E-Step for the first time here tonight is pulling the outside lane. We've seen him do a lot of pushing tonight. We haven't seen him try and pull the train around the Talladega Super Speedway here. That 25, though, back to the outside. Henderson going 3 wide once again. He's got 4 cars up there. And E-Step's going to go up. He's going to throw a little bit of a block on the red-headed Wendy's entry. That's going to leave the 13 of Johnny James all by himself in the middle, except here comes John Garrett. A slide up in front of the 55 of E-Step goes the double J entry. And boy, that was a close call that time in 2.
Yeah, that was a real close move right there in turn 2. And, I don't want to say I told you so, but I want to pull out, or point out, I should say, and pull a rabbit out of the hat, because look at this. I told you, Thad Failer, that's the guy I was watching. He was all the way tail into the field just 2 laps ago, and here he is, 3rd car, inside lane, right behind that 04 of Ambrose Nebel. So look for Failer to be a factor tonight. But the outside run, that seems to be king in the 13 of Johnny James. He's going to take the run off of the front end of the Circle B Diecast 55. And now Johnny James drops down to the bottom. He'll lead the race once again here. We got
Sideways.
trouble. John Garrett goes around.
1 car, 2 car, 3 cars. There's the Woodard Automotive, number 77 of Thad Failer. He'll shorten up the rear end of that number 77 as the 3rd caution flag will fly. It looks like Baker's involved, Parkhurst involved. They saw the 66 of John Garrett also involved. Boy, that is going to be a hard impact for that 66. There you see the Fort Worth screen printing entry. He has pulled away from the wreck, but that car is pretty mangled up here. Whew. Boy, that one happened quick.
Yeah, that it happened real quick as we exited turn 2 and started to make our way down the backstretch. Some big trouble for a handful of drivers just past the halfway point. So that's something that these drivers are going to have to take into consideration as well. I know some of them had to burn a quick fix. Will they burn their last one after a heavy, hard impact with the outside wall for many of these drivers? John Garrett, a little bit of a pinball. The 77 with some hard impact almost goes airborne, almost gets off of the track. If we got to look at that one, I'm not sure. Roger, you can watch this 77 after making contact, after he backs it into the outside wall. Watch this hit right here. Man, that thing got a little bit, we'll call it sketchy.
Sketchy is a good word to use here. Actually, let's see if we can ride on board here. Riding on board the number 5 of Scott Baker, and that car just came out of nowhere across Baker's nose, and then he took a very, very, very long slide in that Ford Mustang and came to a rest on the back straightaway. Here's a look right on board. Now you're riding on board with the number 23 of Mark Parkhurst.
And all of the action happening in front of Parkhurst, and just not enough time to really check up. He finds himself all wadded up, mixed up, and this one does get it pointed in the right direction and head back onto the track towards pit lane. So fortunately enough for everybody, they're going to be able to keep it under power to get to pit lane, but look for a lot of guys to have to really use that fast fix now. And as we seen that 23 with the big slide, we mentioned it, only 2 sets of tires as well here tonight for these drivers to change after a long slide like that. You know, what do you do, Roger? Do you go ahead and get brand new Goodyears? Or do you try to wait it out and see if we get another caution flag? Because we still got right around 45 laps remaining.
We may have some great tires here on the iRacing.com platform, but the greatest part is about this virtual, other than not having to pay for tires, is the flat-spotted tire isn't really that big of an issue. So I don't believe he's going to have to rush himself and put himself in a bad situation by using all of his tires right now. All 4 are still aired up. They're going to be a little less tread on them, that is for sure, but I wouldn't really worry here at this point, as we still have 44 laps, I do believe, or something like that here left tonight here at Talladega. So the tire situation, I wouldn't really worry about it right now. I'd save it for a little bit later on. Maybe if you want to slap 4 brand new Goodyear racing tires on it and then really start to jig and jive through the field.
Yeah, I mean, still a very long way to go, as you said, and as I alluded to, 45, 44 laps when we drop the green flag to go back racing once again here from Talladega Superspeedway in the year at here, 250, and everybody's still out there on the track. Scott Baker in the 5 machine, he's going to head back to pit lane once again, trying to fix up a little bit more damage on that Ford Mustang if he can, and try to get back out there on the track. Fortunately enough for him, this track being so big, it lends itself to, you know, you're able to fix a little bit more when you do head down pit lane, as Baker's down and away, and he'll make his way back up to speed and rejoin this field. But there you see at the front, multiple drivers going to elect to come back down pit road once again. Richard Clement, Thad Failer, and the 23 of Mark Parkhurst all going to come down pit lane to the attention of their crew one more time. And we'll get the one more time around signal. The flag man going to give them the 1 finger wave, and we'll have lap number 51 on the board. We'll go back green flag racing on lap 52. You're watching the You're At Here at 250 live from Talladega Superspeedway, right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network.
3 drivers to pit road, 3 drivers off of pit road. So they will all come out and tag the back of the field here, but it is Wes Fuller out front with the number 13 of Johnny James. Ambrose is sitting there running into the 3rd spot, and then it's going to be Franklin back there in 4th. Henderson, then Garrett, then Estep and Fowler. Clement and Parkhurst. Right now, that is how they will round down the top 10 here as we get ready to go back racing after our 3rd caution flag of the evening. Heavy hits in the 3rd caution flag of the evening, but everybody is back out onto the raceway. A lot of these drivers have already had to use their 2 quick repairs, being very generous here tonight with 2 quick repairs here in the You're At Here 250. So with the iRacing.com Silverado Pace truck lights out and the field assembled 2x2, we're ready to fire these fire-breathing dragons off, and it will be 2 Ford Mustangs on the front row, followed by a slew of Chevrolets.
Yeah, the Fast Fords, they've been at the front for the majority of tonight. That 13 of Johnny James, once he sniffed it out, he stayed up there Since I would probably say for about the last 30 laps or so, a familiar face at the front has been that 13 machine of Johnny James. And for those of you that have been around the Colonial Clash Racing Series for a period of time, you're familiar with that name, the last action hero, as he was coined by yours truly last season in season number 2. Unfortunately enough, Johnny James, the scheduling not quite lining up for him to join us on track this season, but able to be here tonight and show some support and show some love to his former league mates and series mates. And here he is trying to walk away and spoil the show from the front of the field. He'll start outside of your race leader, Wes Fuller, down there on the bottom. He's going to bring the Goose graphics. 35 into the Geico restart zone, and on the gas, here we go. Green flag flies. Once again, here at Talladega Super Speedway, up through the gears quick is that 35, a big gap, and that's going to allow 13 to drop right down to the bottom of the racetrack. I thought it was going to be a little bit too big of a gap there for that 35. I thought Fuller may have been getting out there a little bit too far, but maybe some strategy play as we go back. Green flag racing front of the field. Split up quite a bit. We've got 2 tandem packs just behind this lead pack here as Dustin Franklin going to take over the high side for the time being. We'll go side by side, 3 rows deep. But here comes a run by the 5 of Scott Baker. He's got some help out of the 12 of Richard Clement as they make their way back to turn 3. And there's E-Step, top side, high side hustling once again.
You want to talk about a run. That 55 of E-Step shot out of a cannon down the back straightaway and into turn number 3, and he went to the high side. He tried to hustle it around. He's back to the high side once again. They're coming across the line. It'll be Franklin, though, leading that time by in that number 47 for screen printing entry. He takes the lead. He's got that number 04. Ambrose right behind him. The Goose Graphics number 35 down on the bottom for Wes Fuller. He's trying to make the inside lane work. One driver going to swing it high, wide, and around the outside. There comes the number 66 now. John Garrett working the outside of the speedway. Will he be able to get the outside to work? He's got E-Step on the back end of that Chevrolet. So it's 2 Chevrolets dancing together on the outside. They got a Ford up there as the caboose of the outside lane. As a little loose that time for E-Step out of turn number 4. A couple drivers getting a little loose here. Maybe the track conditions starting to change a little bit.
So if we're hearing you correctly, you said the caboose is loose. The Wendy's caboose is loose up there on the high side. That's what you said? That's what you said.
Well, it's got red hair, and it's trailing the top side. That is a caboose that's usually red and trailing.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can't say you're wrong on that one either. Something I do want to mention, though, we're seeing it right here. That 74 of Dustin Franklin and John Garrett now side by side. The Fort Worth Screen Printing Esports teammates for the first time here tonight, possibly going to be able to work together as we stay 3 wide, 2 rows deep here, working our way off of turn number 4 and back through the triangle, giving all the fans in the stands a great show here. But Roger, we've got big moves all race along. We've seen drivers jockeying for position, not being content at just running double file, single file. They are mixing it up lap after lap. And trouble! Contact! Off of the front end of the 74, John Garrett going to spin around, no contact with anything. So fortunate break there for Garrett, but there may be some trouble between teammates in the hauler after this.
How did he get away with that one and not hit anything with that 66? He'll grab a gear and he'll pull away from the infield there. Slid just barely into the grass of the infield of turns number 1 and 2. So the Fort Worth Screen Printing number 66 will get back to the tail end of the field. Well, let's take the look. The truck says they already have that one queued up. There's the 66. Got a great push by the number 55. And just hooked. There's the 35 of of Wes Fuller, also getting a little sideways, but he was able to carry on, no problems for the number 35 of Wes Fuller. Let's see if we can ride on board here with John Garrett looking back at the field, and right there they come together.
Yeah, just not quite clear. Not sure if the spotter just had a little bit of a bad angle sometimes here at these big tracks. It's tough for the spotters. It's tough on them up there high above the racetrack. They kind of lose perspective from time to time on exactly how close the driver's on. It looks like right there, possibly the spotter thinking Garrett was completely clear, but just about another inch on the front end of that 74 before he was truly clear. So the teammates make contact. Trouble on the track. Everybody going to get it headed back in the right direction. It looks like the damage is pretty minimal on that 66 machine. A little bit of damage on that 35 Goose Graphics entry here after the contact there. In troubles under our latest caution flag. I believe this is our fourth caution of the evening here tonight. And the year ad here, 250 pit lane is open. And we see drivers heading back down pit road. And as these drivers head to pit road, Roger, what I was going to say before the caution flag was we've seen a lot of moves. We've seen jockeying for positions, drivers not being content with just running where they are. How much do you think this thing is going to amp up from here on out? Because we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. It's go time here pretty soon at Talladega.
Well, I can tell you this, it ain't going to calm down anytime soon. As you see a couple tires going on the 66 of Garrett's machine, and he'll put some right sides on. The crew won't, or yes, they will. They're actually going to call for the left sides now, so they're putting left sides on that car, so 4 fresh tires going on the number 66 of John Garrett. But the field is not going to ease out here, Dave. They're going to ratchet it up to 10, and it's all going to start when we go back green flag racing with Nathan Estep out front here tonight, as we'll be back here for the Talladega, or at the Talladega Super Speedway for the You're At Here 250 after this.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12-Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic, real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
My father, Gardner Stone, has grown our dealership with one thing in mind: to treat people the way you want to be treated. Well, the way you buy a vehicle now is everything is ordered, so customers have to pick where they want to buy a vehicle. The people coming back for their second, their third, their fourth, their fifth vehicle, it's a good relationship, but that tells you that they know that we're going to take care of them. At G Stone Motors, we just don't make customers, we make long-lasting friends, and I think that separates us.
G Stone Motors, Route 7 South, Middlebury, Vermont.
Backtrack side here at Talladega Super Speedway with the field double file behind the iRacing Chevy Silverado Pace truck. It's going to go ahead and make that left-hand turn, and the field will bring themselves around the tri-oval and back to the Geico restart zone. Once again, long train of cars on the inside here, Rondra, that headed down pit lane. So multiple drivers there in that inside lane had to come and use another fast repair. A few of them had to get some tires and on the gas quick. E-Step doesn't get going and shot out of a cannon. That 04, he takes off and Nebel leaves the field behind. Not quite so sure about that strategy call, though, because he's going to be a sitting duck all alone on the high side. And he's going to stay up there, and it looks like everybody going to go around with a fair amount of ease here. Maybe some trouble for that 04, possibly jumping the restart there. Looks like he's going to get called to the tail end of the pack, and that's going to be a penalty served there, and he's in danger now of losing a little bit of the draft as we stay side by side at the front. Johnny James going at it with Nathan E-Step, the 12 machine, second car inside lane. He's looking to have a solid recovery here tonight. Richard Clement with a good run in the 12. The VFW sponsored Chevys, or no, that's a Ford Mustang. That's another fast Ford out there on track. So the Fords, they've been quick here tonight, Roger.
I can't believe you just tried to call that a Chevrolet when you can clear as day tell that that is a Mustang that's riding there on the bonnet of that car.
I figured if I called it a Chevy, maybe it would get a little more horsepower.
Well, it ain't going to happen because they're all chasing that 55 of Nathan E-Step. The double J entry there of James is able to pull side by side down the back straightaway, and he'll actually clear with a little help from that number 66 of John Garrett. John Garrett pushing the number 13 of Johnny James out to the front of the field. Now there's a Ford leading the bottom side, a Chevrolet leading the top side, and the caution lights are on all around the speedway. I believe the number 74 of Dustin Franklin in the Fort Worth screen printing Chevrolet. Something has gone awry. As you can tell, he's got some rear end damage here, so a caution flag coming back out for the 5th time here tonight at Talladega, as the Fort Worth screen printing machine says it's not quite that bad, so he'll continue to keep going here. Let's take a look, though, what happened to the 74. Oh, wow. Hard impact to the rear end of the Fort Worth screen printing Camaro, and around goes that number 74. So he looks like, I think there was something just out of the picture frame there. There's the 41. John Gutkun's to the outside there. So the 74 trying to go to the bottom side, and unfortunately the 04 of Ambrose was coming through like a train.
Yeah, and it looks like it's going to be a little bit more significant damage than what we originally thought there. The 74 along for a ride after that one, really. I mean, on the outside lane, you can see the 41 get a little close to that outside wall. The 74 trying to avoid him. Had a little bit of a tank slap going on right there, out of the gas and out of the throttle, and the 04 right in to the rear deck lid, and it's going to cave that thing right on in. And, well, you know, it looks to be... we seen some damage on the 66 earlier here tonight, and you were quick to kind of point out the way it was shaped. Really looked like it possibly was a Mustang that got into the tail end of him, but I'm telling you what, the cave-in portion of that 74's rear deck lid right now, it was done by a Camaro, and they look pretty similar.
Well, you never know what you're going to get. My friend Forrest Gump told me that one. And right now we got a caution flag and everybody back down pit road. The thing about super speedway racing is you always want to keep that that tank full of fuel. So these drivers all trying to keep it topped off, because if you're topped off and it comes down to a late race splash and dash under green flag and you don't have to, well, that's going to save you about a 3/4 of a lap. Definitely not having to come to pit road. Everybody down and away in the 74. Franklin having to use a fast repair, so he'll get back out there, but now he is down one of those fast repairs here tonight. And boy, this probably, now thinking about it after our 5th caution flag of the night, a lot of these drivers have had to at least use one.
Yeah, a lot of those quick repairs are going to be out of the window now for a good amount of these drivers in the field here tonight. And something I'm keeping my eyeball on is because coming from a spotter crew chief side of things, I tend to focus on the race strategy and what's going on that quite a bit more than most. And I'm looking at the lap count right now, Roger, and it even with these drivers coming down to pit lane and getting the fuel, it's still not going to be enough to carry them to the end. That's 30 plus laps on a tank of fuel, and they've yet to be able to run that. Even with that round of green flag pit stops that we had early here in the portion of tonight's race, they weren't able to go 30 laps, so still on the outside of that fuel window looking in. I would expect to see a handful of these guys try to make it down the pit lane before we get the one to go, as we ride on board now with your race leader inside of that Marine-sponsored Fast Ford Mustang at the front. Johnny James shows the way. Your top 4 are all Fast Fords in the field here. So Ford showing a little bit of dominance tonight in the URAD here at 250 from Talladega Super Speedway. We'll wait to see if we've got any takers to pit lane, as we'll get the one to go signed this time around. And it looks like indeed from Parkhurst on back, we've got drivers heading to pit lane. So pit road, still a pretty busy place with only 4 drivers staying out on track.
Yeah, 4 drivers will stay out here, so that's really going to shake things up for them at the front of this field. It'll just be a splash and go for all these drivers that are coming to pit road right here. But the only drivers that will stay out, it will be the number 13 of Johnny James. It'll be Blake Henderson, Wes Fuller, and Richard Coleman. Remember that the 35 of Fuller, though, does have the rear end damage on the back of that Goose Graphics number 35 here tonight. There you see the spoiler caved in a little bit. The rear bumper cover also pushed in. So with those drivers, well, with that driver looking to possibly try and make it the rest of the way without having to use a quick repair here tonight, he's got the damage. Maybe that might put him at a little aerodynamic deficiency. We'll see how that actually works for him. See the 25 have a little bit of an electrical issue. For all of our race fans that are tuning in that are not familiar with the iRacing.com platform, as the 23 of Parkhurst says, get the cone up out of my way. As well, all these drivers are at home, inside their garage, inside their man cave. If you're like Dave, you're in a cave literally calling the race here tonight. So with them being at their own house, they have their own computer, their own sim rig, cockpits. They have steering wheel shifters, pedals, all the 9 yards, button boxes, and everything. Well, then their computer has to send a signal out to the iRacing.com server, which is most likely here tonight located in Boston, Massachusetts. So with their computer trying to communicate with the Boston server, and then the Boston server having to go out to each and every one of these drivers' servers, sometimes you see that little bit of a blink from one of these cars here. That means they kind of didn't get a packet in time. There you see it once again for the number 25. We haven't really seen that too much here tonight under the green flag circumstances, but I can tell you as a driver, from the driver's side perspective, well, you see a driver that's blinking, you probably don't want to work with them too much.
Yeah, that's going to be something that's weighing on these drivers' minds coming back to the green flag. The 25 Wendy's machine, he's been fast all night. Henderson has been at the front, but with those connection issues, with those little blinking problems, the electrical aspect of things going awry on that 25 for the moment, drivers may be a little gun shy when it comes to working with him. But if I'm going to lay my money on the line, I'm going to be somewhere around that 25 and quick back to the gas. Once again, the 13 going to go way before the Geico restart zone, and we'll head back under green flag racing conditions. And the 13 going to pull well and clear of the field, man. The 35 got caught sleeping on that, and he's going to drop 2 positions here on the restart. And something you mentioned was the damage on the tail end of that Goose Graphics number 35 machine. And I think he's used one fast repair. I think he's got one more in his back pocket, and I think he may be trying to keep it there in case we get a late race caution. A handful of these drivers not looking to be involved in another caution, but that doesn't mean we won't have another one as the 25 of Henderson gets the shove, gets the push, and he heads to the front. The 12 of Clement looking to drop down to the bottom of the racetrack. 25 going to cover him for the time being. A little bit of a blink once again, but Clement not lifting one bit, unrelentless, getting to the front. And here comes a big run out of a Toyota Supra, the only Toyota in the field, looking for a big run in a big way. And he's going to almost get all the way to the front as we'll go back 3 wide with John Garrett and Nathan Estep on the high side.
Bunch of Fords on the bottom, a Toyota leading the middle lane, and 2 Chevrolets on the outside here. So every manufacturer represented up at the front of this field here as we work lap number 65 from the bottom to the top. From the outhouse to the penthouse is going to be trying to go to number 35 of Wes Fuller. He'll take the Goose Graphics entry to the outside. Now the Marines number 13 of James is thinking about also going to the outside. He moved from the inside lane to that middle lane. So these drivers moving around, trying to get themselves into a lane that they like. And we'll come by this time. We'll put lap 65 in the books, but who will lead it? That Toyota nosing ahead. It'll be Mark Parkhurst leading that time, and he'll try to drop to the inside lane here. That'll leave the 13 of Double J all by himself in the sucker hole.
You're going to drop Johnny James off and pick up that 25 winning machine of Henderson. And I'm asking myself, Roger, was that movement we seen while we were 3 wide with drivers abandoning that inside lane? Did it have anything to do with the connection issues on that 25 of Henderson right now? You get one of those little bit of a blinks at the wrong time, and your front bumper could end up inside the rear bumper of the driver in front of you. So that's got to be playing on some of these strategy calls and some of these moves. Nathan Estep looks like he wants nothing to do with it. He's going to make an invasive move for a moment. He'll stay in line, 4th car, middle lane. And now we've got drivers backing out of that outside lane, dropping back down to the bottom goes the 13 of Johnny James. Fort Worth screen printing 66 of John Garrett. He's back in the mix. He's trying to rejoin his teammate at the front, and Franklin's going to get shuffled out now.
Yeah, he was sideways in the number 74. He'll lose a couple of spots. He'll rejoin right in front of the Woodard Automotive, number 77 of Thad Failer. Failer's been kind of hanging out here. Remember, he's been wrapped up in a couple wrecks here tonight, so he does not have another quick repair left in the bank for the number 77 Woodard Automotive, riding on the side of that Chevrolet here tonight at Talladega. So right now, Failer is just trying to play a smart move here towards the end of this one. You need to be around at the end to have a chance to win, and that's exactly what Thad Failer is trying to do here tonight. As we come by, we're knocking another one. Big move at the front of the field. The number 25 of Henderson now leading the inside lane. E-step right on the back end of the Wendy's entry, trying to grab a chicken nugget.
And I would expect to see E-step make a move to the high side here in just a handful of moments. Got to let that run really get there. That's starting to develop by that 12. Leading that outside lane. There were 4 cars. Now it's going to get a little thinner, as I believe that was John Garrett. Yes, it was John Garrett in the 66. Going to drop from that high side down to the bottom. Here comes the move by E-step on the outside. He's going to look for a push. He's going to look for some help. Clement not going to go with him, and that's going to leave Clement high, wide, and handsome all alone. A tough little run there, and he's going to have some help now. Contact, big push off of the front end of the 13. That's going to nose E-step around the 25 on the bottom, and he'll grab the race lead. Will stay 3 wide for 3rd.
Just 1 car in the middle there. That's making it 3 wide. That is the Double J entry of Johnny James. He will start to fall back through the sucker hole here. He tries to pinch the outside lane up a little bit to break them up. Not quite able to really do anything with it. A couple of those cars that are towards the front of the field will now dive to the middle line here. There's the number 12 entry. As you see, the 25, Blake Henderson still having a little bit of that connection issues, as now he'll tack onto the back of the number 55 of Nathan E-step. They're come by this time. They'll get the 25 to go, whispered in their ear from their spotter. Just 25 laps to go. Sideways for the number 13. James was sideways off the front bumper of Clement as he went from the outside, slid all the way to the inside. The 55 of Nathan Estep now looks like he will give up the race lead. He will slide to the outside 3 wide and go to the back of the field. Looks like the 25 also of Henderson going to go to the bottom side. So they're 4 wide racing down the back straightaway. Everybody trying to find a hole. They will all file in here tonight. And I will look, and it looks like Estep will go from the front row all the way back to around the 6th position.
Yeah, and I mean, that was a big-time sideways slide for Johnny James. And you got to ask yourself, is that some old tires coming into play? Has he kept a set of tires for when he has to make this final pit stop? If it's under green flag conditions, you're not going to want to take the time to get those tires. But if we get a late race caution, he may be sitting in the catbird seat with an extra set of tires on pit lane. Big move, big look to the outside by the 35 machine. He's going to try to put that Goose Graphics machine to the top and not going to quite get there, as we've got those Fort Worth Screen Printing Esports Motorsports teammates right there running with each other. Now the Fort Worth Screen Printing drivers have been able to finally tag team up on this field, and they are moving to the front. Big push. Going to get John Garrett back to the point for the first time in a long time here tonight.
The last time he was leading, we were on lap number 21. Come across the line this time, and it's going to be 23 laps to go. And now John Garrett back to the point here. He's got the team car of Dustin Franklin right behind him. But boy, does he get that fast forwards down on the bottom side of the speedway. Those ponies are galloping right now. That is going to be the number 12 of Clement down to the inside. And now look at the outside. There's a couple Fords up there. Wes Fuller goes to the outside, and the Goose Graphics number 35. John Garrett going to try and play a little bit of Dale Earnhardt Jr. here, trying to go down and get the draft from the inside to kind of break them up a little bit, but didn't quite have it. They had a run. He went back to the outside, and James a little sideways all over the back bumper of car number 12 there.
Yeah, James with a little bit of an out-of-shape moment. I mean, it happened a handful of laps ago, and now on the inside lane, struggling to keep the car straight right behind Richard Clement, who is leading the race in his fast VFW Ford Mustang, showing the way. Nathan Estep right there, third car in line. Big slide to the top. Estep going to stay on the bottom in a bail by Dustin Franklin. He's going to drop from the high side all the way down there with that 55, but action picking up. Time, laps running out. Drivers they're making some big moves out there. And I wouldn't be too surprised if we see another caution flag fly. The question is, how big is it going to be? If you're one of the drivers that have already burned both your quick fixes, how close do you want to be to this? Well, I don't want to call it a calamity yet, but it is some chaos up here at the front. Nathan Estep now going to look down to the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to grab that top spot. Clement looked to cover. Wasn't able to get there in time, and now the Circle B diecast 55 heads back to the front and get another lead change here tonight. We've had tons of lead changes. About 7 different drivers have had the race lead at some point in time tonight, and we'll go back 3 wide, 2 rows deep once again.
I don't know where I want to be at the end of this one. I don't know where I want to be right now. All I can tell you is these drivers don't know where they want to be either, is because that 55 of Nathan Estep, remember, he went to the outside and went to the back. That 25 that you see in the middle of row number 2 there, of that 3 wide situation, contact with your race leaders. Whew, they were sideways. They made the contact. They held on to it, so that just shows you the skill these drivers have here tonight. But the 25 also of Henderson went to the inside and went all the way to the back side of the field also. So these drivers are from the front to the back, to the front, to the back, and there's still 20 laps to go around the speedway tonight.
Yeah, still, 20 laps is a very long time around this 2.5 mile super speedway. A lot of things can go down, so you got to take that into perspective. Yes, there's 20 laps, but over 40 miles of racing left to be had. So a lot that can go on as it looks like the 25 continuing to be plagued by those connection issues. Everybody got a bail from behind him. He'll be left in the sucker hole in the middle, left of him all alone, and it looks like the run is going to get there on the high side. Clement just not quite able to edge him out, and the 25 will drop down to the bottom of the racetrack. Fourth car in line as we're beginning to see drivers line up on the inside, and Roger, again, nobody can make it to the end on fuel. They are going to have to come to pit road, or they are going to have to save a ton of fuel. And it doesn't look by the timing and scoring charts, by the speed charts, that anybody is saving any bit of gas here tonight. And as we do look to the timing and scoring, as we are now under 20 laps to go, a little bit of house cleaning for you. It's going to be a quick trip down the house cleaning lane, and contact. Oh my goodness, contact right there. 25, all sorts of out of shape. 12 drivers took to the starting grid here tonight. We've still got 11 drivers out there on track, running 11 on the lead lap. Only the Marlboro-sponsored 04 Chevy Camaro of Ambrose Nebel out of tonight's race, so he will be the first and only retirement tonight from Talladega Super Speedway. But we still got 18 laps left. Will anybody join them on the hook and back behind the pit road in the garage?
So pending one more pit stop here tonight to make it the rest of the way. Right now, though, sideways for the 25. Blake Henderson, as he was into the back of the number 55 of Nathan Estep, and then he goes back down to the bottom and hangs the number 55 to the outside all by himself. There is a hole, and he will insert his 55 there. So we go back single file, but don't tell that to the 12 machine. Clement will go to the outside here, and he'll take Estep and the number 25 of Henderson right along on the journey with him. They go to the outside with 17 laps to go here tonight at Talladega, and a great run for the 12 car, the VFW entry, the Veterans of Foreign Wars. Number 12 as he now will take over the race lead, and there goes the number 55 of Nathan Estep. He'll push the 12 out, and then he'll jump down to the bottom right inside of the number 74 of Franklin as they go side by side down the back straightaway for the race lead. It will be Nathan Estep with just a little bit of an edge into turn 3.
And it may be a little bit of favoritism possibly going on here. We're seeing some of these Colonial Clash Racing Series regulars beginning to link up with each other. Richard Clement, one of the drivers, not usually on track on Wednesday night with those Colonial Clash drivers, and you could see a fellow mate not really involved with the Colonial Clash right there, staying on his bumper. So Roger, we said manufacturers really not going to matter here tonight, as we've got two Fords working with each other at the front of the field, but the rest with those bow ties. Will we see, whoa, big push and a wiggle. The 25 is all sorts of out of shape. But will we see some of the inter-league matchups begin to take place in tonight's special event that you're at here? 250 for John Garrett's ARCA car coming up, coming to race at Kansas in just a handful of weeks. September 10th, mark that down on your calendar. Get ready to support a fellow iRacer in his pursuit of his dreams of racing. Oh my gosh,
for the
look at
25 there of Henderson at the line, and now he'll come down, slam the door back on the 55 of Nathan Estep. Boy, that was out of shape, and Johnny James says, boys, I didn't lift there that at all. He's now the race leader. He's got Richard Clement to the outside there, but he's got nobody to go along with him. So you got the Marines entry pulling the bottom side, you got the VFW entry on the outside, and now it looks like he'll get a little help. Maybe. It looked like Franklin was going to go to the outside. No, he won't. Everybody goes back single file here, and it'll be 14 laps to go this time. Johnny James is the race leader. He's got the 25 all over the back end. Blink, blink, blinky there for the 25 of Henderson.
Yeah, so those connection issues still rearing their ugly head at this point in time with 14 to go across the line. And with him having some connection issues, it looks like he's having some handling issues out of that 25 Wendy's machine as well. All over the racetrack at high speeds. That's not what you want. I mean, you don't want to be really all over the track anyway, regardless of whether you're at a half mile or quarter mile on the dirt, whether it be a mile and a half like Charlotte Motor Speedway or one of the bigger tracks, Homestead, Miami Speedway, Auto Club. You want to keep some nice smooth runs together, and the 25 with some big moments over the course of the past handful of laps, and he's going to go to the high side all by himself, trying to get some of those electrical problems fixed up and worked out. That's going to open up a big gap for a moment. E-Step going to bring that 55 Circle B diecast Chevy Camaro back towards the front of the field. He's going to drag Dustin Franklin and John Garrett right along with him. The 77 of Thad Failer right there sitting in 6th. John Gutekunst in 7th. Was Fuller in 8th. Blake Henderson now back to 9th with Parkhurst rounding out your top 10.
As the battle is side by side for the race lead as they work down the back straightaway here. Contact, that's going to send the 13 to the bottom, the 12 into the outside wall, and he will take a couple cars with them. 3, 4, 5, 6 drivers involved in the 6th caution flag with 13 laps to go here tonight. The 6th caution flag of the evening will fly. There you see the Tropicana, number 23 of Parkhurst. He is involved. John Gutekunst is involved, and Clements, and I believe the 25 of Blake Henderson possibly also involved here tonight. So a handful of drivers involved to bring out the 6th caution flag of the evening here at Talladega in the You're At Here 250 to be a part of John Garrett's ride at Kansas. A couple drivers coming to pit road right away. And boy, well, let's just take a gander back here. You see the contact between the 13 and the 12. The 12 up into the outside wall. And, oh, the Woodard Automotive number 77. Nowhere to go for Thad Failer, and I believe he's used his quick repair already. So we'll see if Failer is able to get back out there tonight.
And that was a hard hit for that 77 too. Hard impact with that outside wall from the bottom of the track all the way up and into that outside safer barrier. And he is already in his pit box, and it does look like the crew is going to work on that 77 Woodard Automotive machine. So some pretty heavy, significant damage. We'll see if the crew is able to get him back out there on the track as we continue to take a few looks at how it all went down. And there's the impact for that 77. Looks a little lighter from inside the car. Amazingly looks a little lighter from inside the car, but that was some heavy, hard impact. The crew's going to give him a thumbs up. They're going to drop the jack. They're going to let him go for the time being. Look to see that 77 back on the pit road. But Roger, here we go. 12 laps to go. You got the caution flag. You're going to be able to have enough fuel to the end. If you got tires, do you take them? Or do you work it on the older cold tires?
I'd throw some right side tires on it. That's probably going to be about all I do. And Jack is dropped for the number 74. That will be Dustin Franklin, just fuel only, it looks like, for him. 4 tires and fuel for everybody else here tonight. They will go back racing with under 10 laps to go. And maybe a miscommunication there for the 66 of John Garrett. He's still in his pit box, but Dustin Franklin, Johnny James, Blake Henderson, Wes Fuller, Scott Baker will be your top 5 as how they roll out of pit road after their pit cycle here under the 6th caution flag of the evening. There you see the iRacing.com Silverado Pace truck. It has made its 6th appearance here tonight at Talladega. A lot of hard hits here tonight. I'll call it maybe 4 good pile-up cautions here tonight. 2 of them coming out a little premature maybe by the officials here tonight, but they wanted to keep them all bunched up, and that's exactly what we're going to do here, because it'll be another, probably be about 8 laps to go by the time we hit the green flag here tonight to end out this You're At 250 here tonight. When we come back from this commercial break, we'll be live till the end of this one here tonight at Talladega.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Well, welcome back here to Talladega, race fans. As you see it, the caution lights are out. We thought we were going to get 8 laps. Well, nope. The officials say quickie caution here. And we're getting ready to go back racing, and it will be 9 laps to decide this one out here tonight. It'll be Franklin. It'll be Henderson, Fuller, Baker, your first 2 rows here as the iRacing.com Silverado pace truck will make its way to pit row. We'll take the long, slow crawl all the way down around the front straightaway here through the tri-oval before that green flag is going to fly here once again. Does look like 2 drivers out of this race, Gutekunst and Ambrose, not able to make it back out onto the raceway. Put 9 laps on the board. Let's jig, jive, and shuffle here as everybody coming back up to speed with 9 laps to go.
Yeah, everybody back up to speed at the drop of the green flag. On the gas goes the 74 of Dustin Franklin. He'll lead the field off into 1 and 2. Big move now to the outside, looking for the race lead for that 35 Goose Graphics Ford Mustang of Wes Fuller. Fuller going to look for the race lead. We'll go side by side halfway down the backstretch. And a little bit of a correction, Roger. I don't get to do this very often, so I'm going to jump on the opportunity to correct you. And it looks like John Gutekunst able to drop the jack, and he's going to rejoin the race. He's going to be a handful of laps down, I believe listed 1 lap down. But as we all know, late race cautions could put you right back on the lead lap and right back in the mix. And here at Talladega, with less than 10 to go, you can pretty much all but expect, pretty much all but bet the farm that there will be a late race caution trouble back in the tail end of this back 13 in the 55, getting together just a little bit. So contact between James and E-Step. That's going to bring E-Step up 1 position as Johnny James going to drop down to the bottom of the racetrack. James going to go inside lane. 4th car inside lane is now leading the field. Dustin Franklin trying to fight the charge off. And here comes Clement. He's going to look to the outside. He's going to look to jump in front of the 35 of Fuller. Look for the outside lane to get a little bit of energy and a little bit of forward momentum coming back to the stripe. We'll have 7 to go.
Gutekunst taking car number 41 back to pit road. So if you're a John fan out there, unfortunately, he has gone back to pit road with the 41. 7 laps to go. It is Dustin Franklin out front here He's got the Wendy's Blinkies goodie bag, or biggie bag back there, actually, in the number 25. Then you got John Garrett on the bottom side of the speedway also, and that Chevrolet trying to take a peek to the inside. Can't go any lower. There's the 13 of Johnny James all over the back end, and they also have an outside lane coming, because that is going to be the 12 of Clement out to the outside, and then you got the 35 of Wes Fuller, who was sideways, may have just scraped the outside wall with the Goose Graphics. Number 35, will we stay clean and green, as now the 13, Johnny James, will dive to the outside for a moment. Now he sucks back in. Oh, big moment there. He'll go to the outside.
And I think that was a late judgment call right there by the 13. It was either really pound into the tail end of that 66 in front of him, or make a late move to try to miss him, and looks like he chose the latter, and luckily enough for John Garrett, he doesn't get collected or involved, doesn't get scooped up with that big move across his bumper, and he's actually going to move to that outside lane, and he's going to try to battle his teammate for the overall race lead. And as we work our way through 3 and 4 here, we'll have 5 to go when we cross the stripe. What's at stake? What's on the line here tonight? Your top 5 going to walk away with some John Garrett merchandise, hats and t-shirts in order for your top 5. But every one of these drivers will have their name on the number 10 ARC car piloted by John Garrett when he heads to Kansas Speedway here in just a short, I believe it's going to be 2 weeks. September 10th is when Garrett will be hitting the track at Kansas Speedway, making the Fort Worth screen printing esports driver.
So as they
walk away with the race win tonight, man, I'm telling you, watch them.
Yeah, they're working down the back straightaway here, and it is 3 wide racing, 2 rows deep for the race lead right now. Clements, and that was E-Step. E-Step's going to bail out on the top shelf, not seeing it go the way he wants it to right now. Franklin is leading the bottom side of the speedway, and that middle group, there is the number 66 of John Garrett. They're come by this time. It'll be 4 laps to go here tonight at the Talladega Super Speedway, and it looks like right now in the front group here, there is 9 drivers that are on the lead lap that have a chance here tonight at picking up the big victory here tonight at Talladega.
Well, I mean, I would. Well, yeah, you said 9 drivers. I was going to say, contact, E-step contact, right there in the middle, looking to go 3, almost 4 wide. Some contact between Johnny James, Nathan E-step, and that 23 of Mark Parkhurst. E-step trying to, I don't want to say force it, but he's trying to make some room, some way, somehow, trying to get to the front. Man, I'm telling you, we thought we've been having some big moves. We've been treated to a great super speedway race here tonight by all the drivers on track. Look for these 2 teammates. They are familiar with keeping the field behind them. The Colonial Clash Racing Series hosted a little bit of a silly season. They called it the Super Speedway Silly Season in between season number 2 and season number 3. And these 2 guys right here, Roger, they walked away with quite a bit of points, and actually walking away with that Super Speedway Series championship was the 66 of John Garrett. So he is a driver that knows how to get it done. His teammate does as well, as the Wounded Warrior down there on the bottom of the racetrack. John Gutekunst's going to go yet another lap down as we head through the triangle. 3 wide with 2 to go. Popsicle sticks on display this time by.
Yeah, the flag man going to wind him up and show him just 2 flags in the air with 2 laps to go. 5 miles of racing to decide this one here tonight at Talladega. Fort Worth screen printing, number 74. Franklin still leading the bottom side here tonight. He's got the 25 of Blake Henderson tucked up underneath him. We've seen him be a really good pusher tonight. John Garrett is in the Fort Worth screen printing, number 66. He's got James showing us right now that he can push, but the high side hustlers are here tonight. Richard Clements, contact, crash in turn number 3.
We're still, oh my gosh, and hard contact by the 35 into the outside wall. That's definitely going to bring out the caution. I was going to say, Roger, we were still green for a moment there If the field was able to get to the line, it would be official, but the caution flag will fly before we get the 1 to go. And that's going to shorten up the field a little bit. Multiple drivers caught up and involved in this late race incident coming to the white flag here tonight. So big, hard impact for a lot of drivers, and we find ourselves under caution one more time.
Yeah, the set for the caution flag of the evening officially flying here tonight at the Talladega Super Speedway. Take a look back here at this. This one started at the front of the field. I believe the 74 up the speedway a little bit. The one that's going to walk away with the hardest impacts, though, is the 35 there of Wes Fuller and the 23 of Mark Parkhurst. Both those drivers having the most damage here tonight. Let's see if we can watch this one back just a little bit farther. See where this all comes unraveled here tonight. 66 actually going to get turned by the 13 down the speedway. The two teammates make the contact, and Fuller along for the ride in the number 35.
And again, looks like just a misjudgment on the pushing is what has caused the chaos and carnage once again here at Talladega. You can see right there John Garrett just on the nose of Johnny James, moves around just a little bit right there, and then there's the contact right there, that last minute contact as the 13 was coming back up the track a little bit. John Garrett's going to get spun around, and well, we'll have to see who's able to get back on the track and get up through the gears here, as we're going to have ourselves a green-white checkered finish. We're going to go further than the 94 laps. We're going to have a handful more still left here tonight from Talladega Super Speedway, and that you're at here 250.
Looks like the number 41 is going to get a wave around here, so he is a lucky dog. And, well, I see him drinking a Busch beer when he's sitting at the races there. The only thing he's missing, Dave, is one of those Turn 3 koozies to go along with that Busch latte.
Yeah, and well, I mean, I don't know that he's got a hat on, but I'm sure it's not as big as your hat. But I mean, you got
that was a big hat at Pocono.
Absolutely. It was probably one of the biggest hats I've ever seen. I mean, I've worn a lot of hats in my days, but nothing quite like the one that you had up there at Pocono. Conversation piece, to say the least. And, well, we're going to have some conversations about who's going to walk away with the race win now, because my pick, it looks like he's going to be relegated to pit road for quite some time. So, unfortunately, looks like that good old superstitious broadcaster's curse rearing its ugly head here tonight. The Woodard Automotive 77th Thad Failer looks like he's going to be on pit road for quite some time. We'll have to wait to see if he's able to rejoin the race once again. It'll be multiple laps down. John Gutekunst getting the lucky dog, but the 41, I believe, is still showing. I think it's 2 laps down that Gutekunst is still on the field. Parkhurst with trouble. He's got an extended stay on pit road as well, Rogers. So it looks like just about maybe 8 drivers are going to be on the lead lap with a chance for the win here tonight at Talladega Super Speedway. My, how the front has changed, really. We went from teammates showing the way to now 2 drivers from 2 separate leagues and series fighting it out for the checkered flag. Nathan Estep's going to start first car outside lane, but controlling the restart will be the fast Ford Mustang of Richard Clement in the 12.
So what you're telling me is there's still a chance out there tonight that I might win.
Well, you know your car's on pit road and you are way too many laps down at this point. So, no, you're not going to win, but one of these guys is going to win. I don't know who, but I know somebody's got to win.
Well, the lights on the iRacing.com Silverado Pace Truck are out, so that does mean next time by we will drop the hammer once again with the first green-white checker attempt here tonight. It will be the number 12 of Richard Clement leading us back to the green flag Racing. Thad Failer looks like he is completely done here tonight in car number 77 in that Woodard Automotive Chevrolet. So he will have to take it back to the Woodard Automotive Group and get them to throw a whole brand new body and maybe a new rear end in that 77. That one is a little toasted up and done here tonight. Ambrose in the 04 here tonight. He was a victim of our lap number 60 crash, and he's been out of the race for just a little while now, but you'll be able to see him back in racing action here when we do come back out. But also, it looks like John Gutekunst a couple laps down here, 4 laps to be exact. He is being scored into the 10th position here tonight out of the 12 cars that did take to the green flag.
And what do you know, we were treated to an early morning Sunday race from the NASCAR world. And at the end of their race, well, there was only a handful of drivers left on the lead lap. As a matter of fact, just about the same amount of drivers on the lead lap earlier today for the NASCAR world that we have on the lead lap here on the virtual side of things at Talladega Superspeedway in the Urat here 250 for John Garrett's ARCA ride. And Roger, with only 9 drivers left on the lead lap, that's 9 drivers that still have a shot. The draft is king. Who's going to get the good starts? Who's going to get the push? And who's going to end up in victory lane? We line up double file for our first green-white checkered. Pace truck is now on pit road. The VFW number 12 of Richard Clement looks to bring the field through the tri-oval. And we'll wait to hit the gas. And green flag flies once again here at Talladega Superspeedway. Clement carries him deep into the restart box. And E-Step misses a gear. Nathan E-Step misses a gear. That's going to check up the whole field. And surprisingly, not getting away is Clement or that 25. I expected to see a big stack up after that one after E-Step misses a gear. Everybody has to go around, and this is going to stretch it out for our final 2 laps.
Well, that was a little bit of a jumbled up restart, but we stay green with just 2 laps to go down the back straightaway. Richard Clements is still the race leader here. He's got Henderson right on the back toe. Franklin is there. Then it's Johnny James, Westville, John Garrett, Mark Parkhurst. That's how they ride right now as they come out of turn number 4. This time by, when they hit the stripe, the white flag will fly, presented by Fort Worth Screen Printing. Do we get to the white flag? As we do, it'll be the white flag presented by Fort Worth Screen Printing.
And the Fort Worth Screen Printing eSports driver, Dustin Franklin, makes a move from that 3rd car inside lane to the outside. Look to get a run to the front. Gonna get blocked off and covered off, and we'll go side by side to 3 wide with the 25 stuck in the middle. Big run on the outside by Wes Fuller. We have Fuller's got some fans out there in TV land. Roger over on the YouTube side of things checking in with us early tonight. They may be seeing their driver walk away with the checkered flag here in the closing few corners and down the front stretch. Clement shows the way with the big run. I don't think anybody's going to get there. Looks like the 12 of Clement going to come through the triangle, cross the line. Ooh, it's going to be close. And I don't know, man. It's going to be super close. And yes, indeed, it looks like Richard Clement is going to walk away with the race lead. Johnny James just going to miss out and finish in 2nd. Dustin Franklin going to bring that 47 machine home to 3rd. Blake Henderson with a fine run all night. The Wendy's machine going to walk away 4th. Wes Fuller with a charge late, but he'll finish out the top 5.
Finishing into the 6th spot here tonight is going to be John Garrett coming across the line. Then it'll be Scott Baker back there into the 7th position. 8th will go to Mark Parkhurst. 9th will be the 55 of Nathan Estep. John Gutekunst will finish into the 10th spot. Then it'll be Thad Failer back into the 11th spot, and Ambrose. And the 04 will actually finish back into the 12th position, but it is all about the Veterans of Foreign Wars. Number 12 machine, as he will burn it down here onto the infield, as he is tonight's winner of the You're Out Here 250. Richard Clement Sr. is your winner, as he will not need the tires, he will not need the motor. He will burn this one down well into the morning, as he is the big winner here tonight. Well, I'm going to call that a congratulatory, little bit of a tank slap.
Be a big one. I guess that's a high five.
Absolutely. Well, race fans, as you see it stop down onto the infield, we're going to take a quick break here from the Talladega Super Speedway. We're going to get your top finishers here tonight, and we'll wrap things up here at Talladega after this.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was always fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos or danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all will be kept in the pits. Not to mention that with members in over 130 countries already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series and work your way up to one of 7 world championships, offering over $500,000 in prize money. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Welcome back here to Talladega Super Speedway after an exciting You're At Here 250 to be a part of John Garrett's ARCA ride at Kansas. Here at Talladega tonight, though, 12 drivers enter. Well, not so many may go out the tunnel the way they came in, but I can tell you right now, Dave, I believe you've caught up with what will be our third place finisher here tonight at Talladega after an exciting one.
Yeah, I've been able to get down to pit road and have a chance to grab a few quick words with our third place finisher here tonight inside of that 74 machine, Dustin Franklin. It's Dave, familiar man to the post-race interview. So how you doing? How you feeling after that fine run? And is there anything you think you could have done differently to maybe walk away with the race win?
Oh, it's just all, I wouldn't say luck, but you got to make the right moves and the right person's got to go with you. So a lot of it's out of your hands. Especially in a race like this, I don't have as many people as I'm used to that are definitely going to stick with me and run to the end. But it was a lot of fun. There's a lot of three-rod racing, a lot of tight racing. I had a blast.
Now your Fort Worth screen printing esports teammate grabbed the pole position, led a handful of laps. You and him were side by side there in the late goings. Was there any type of team strategy coming into tonight's race?
Oh, we were just mostly here to have fun. We were here to raise some money for John, and we were here to make sure we had a good race tonight. So we were definitely trying to make it to the front there, but we wanted to have a clean ending there. So we definitely weren't going to push it as hard as we normally would on a league race night.
Well, you're fast in the trucks each and every Wednesday night here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Tonight, special event, Sunday night Xfinity Series action, fast once again and back in a podium position. So you know the drill, you know how it goes. We're going to step back and hand you the mic.
All right, yeah. Again, you guys saw some great action tonight. Make sure you tune in for John's live race. It's probably on FS1, FS2. I'm not sure. Well, you can get the details on the ARCA website. But definitely tune in, support it. Looks like you're going to see Unbroken there. You're going to see his logo on the car of some sort. So make sure you look at that. And I appreciate the Lee Colonial Clash, Goose Graphics, John Fort Worth Screen does so much for so many people, and it's good to give back to him.
All right, my man. Well, again, Dustin, congratulations on the great run, and we'll see if we can catch up with you this coming Wednesday.
Yes, sir. I appreciate your guys' time. Have a good night.
There you have it. Final words from the man that walks away third on the podium here tonight. And I believe that's given Roger just enough time to head down and climb out of that comfy little Turn 3 production booth and try to run in with our second place finisher here tonight.
Yeah, I've caught up with the driver that will finish here in P number 2 tonight, driving that number 13 entry. How about it, James? It was a great race here tonight, and you're going to come up just one spot shy.
Yeah, man, that race was great, man. First of all, I want to say thank you to everybody, man. Thank you, Race Control. Appreciate John T. Garrett. I always want to support my man. I always support vets. But it was a victory, man. P2 was actually awesome for me, man, because my partner, my guy, Richie Clement, came in first, man. That's PPP, buddy. He came in first and second. That's all that matters. Come on back. Let's go.
Yeah, you got two of those fast ponies up there at the end of this one, but walk us through this race. We saw some crazy 2 wide, 3 wide, and at one point, I don't know if you saw in the restart, you guys were spread out 5 wide.
Yeah, man, it was crazy, man. Unfortunately, through the hard racing, I was able to accumulate a couple of EOLs, turn my man John T when we was in the middle. But, man, like I said, man, it was some good, hard racing, man. That was, to be honest, guys, that was one of the best races I've been a part of. I just want to say, everybody, thank you for the opportunity to take place in this, man. And it was awesome, guys.
It was absolutely a blast, though, to watch that Marines car come up just, unfortunately, one spot shy. But a great run for you here tonight. Hey, who makes this all possible? I know there's people behind the scenes, though, that get you out here all the time to have a blast.
Yeah, man, just want to say shout out, like I said, to my man Richard. Shout out to my man Dustin. He came in P3. Dustin part of the crew, even though he wasn't on the team, but that's my boy. Shout out to Dustin, John P. Shout out to Goose. Everybody, shout out to everybody that participated, man. It was awesome, guys. Appreciate it.
He's excited, race fan.
Yeah, man.
Johnny James will celebrate a P number 2 here tonight. He's got his buddy up there who will finish in P number 1. A great run for him and the team as he's excited. Dave, I don't know how you top that other than he's just excited to finish P2.
Yeah, man, I tell you what, some of the funnest interviews I had last season in the Colonial Clash Racing Series was with was with Johnny James, the last action hero. I coined him that. It's kind of stuck around a little bit, but we'll head over just across the ways. Let's talk to his teammate. Let's see if we can't get a few words with the man that walks away with the checkered flag in victory lane here tonight inside of that VFW Ford Mustang. Richard Clement, it's Dave and Roger in the booth. You got us?
I do.
Hey, man, how you doing? How you feeling after walking away with the big prize?
I'm pretty stoked about it. So first of all, I got to thank Dustin. He got me into this race. Told me about it, and he got me into the race. And since it was for John Garrett, I was all about racing it. The race was it was a lot of fun. I was trying to use pit strategy through most of the race by using fuel, keeping it topped off, and then unfortunately, me and Johnny, we got into it somehow while racing for the lead, which kind of threw the pit strategy out there. So once we came into like turn 3 and I noticed that he was behind me, I realized that we were going to be really good because he's one of my teammates and we race together a lot for Pit Party Productions. So shout out to him. I couldn't have won without him, and yeah, super stoked about it.
Well, as you said, Pit Party Productions up there at the top of the speed charts at the end of tonight's race, taking away the top 2 spots here in the URAD here, 250 for John Garrett's ARCA ride at Kansas. And as you said, John Garrett, one of those good guys, good buddies, good friends that you just want to do nice things for and with. And, well, now he gets to do something a little nice for you. So why don't we tell the fans out there in TV land, what logo are you going to be having on that ARCA car, or have you had a chance to even think about that yet?
I haven't even had a chance to think about that as of right now, because this is about 3 minutes long. But I really wanted to give a shout out to Goose Graphics for also helping this out, and you guys as well. So I'm kind of torn between Pit Party Productions and Unbroken, which is something I do for streaming. So I'm kind of torn between the two.
Well, man, whatever it is you decide, I'm sure it's going to look good, and I'm sure it's going to look clean out there. Congratulations with walking away with the top spot in the checkered flag and all the glory that goes with it here in the URAD here 250. So before we let you go, would you like to give any final shout-outs, thank yous, love yous?
No, I mean, I would love to. I got to thank my wife for being very patient, because I've been racing for about 13 hours today. So I really want to make sure that she knows I appreciate it. And shout out to my daughter, whose is her 5th birthday today. So happy birthday to baby girl.
Now that is a birthday present for the ages of checkered flag. Congratulations, Richard, though, on everything you accomplished here tonight. And we'll see if we can catch up with you again in these post-race interviews soon.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right, there you have it. Final few parting words, Roger, from the man that captured the checkered flag here tonight in that VFW Ford Mustang. The number 12 going to go to victory lane. He's going to have the opportunity to get a logo on the ARCA car for walking away with the race win. Your top 5 all walking away with t-shirts and hats here tonight, all the courtesy of John Garrett and that race crew. So with everything in the bag, man, what a run, what a night here tonight. And man, I'm just telling you, I'm excited for this ARCA race at Kansas. Can't wait to see all the names out there on the car. And can't wait to see what Garrett's going to be able to do. Before we go, though, anything you wanna add here?
Well, we have to thank all the viewers tuning in here tonight, watching over on the Turn 3 Racing Network side of things on the YouTube side. And we also got to thank all the participants here tonight that are being a big part here in helping John live his dream of racing in the ARCA Menard series that are coming here in just a couple of weeks at Kansas. Can't wait to see the car. Can't wait to see these drivers back out onto the speedway. But we've really got to thank everybody that tuned in, everybody that supported the race tonight here. These drivers really appreciate it, and I know John, of course, is going to really appreciate it. The top 5, once again, are walking away with some hats and some shirts courtesy of Fort Worth Screen Printing and John Garrett. But man, for everybody behind the scenes here with the Your Ad 250, we thank you all for tuning in here tonight to the Talladega Super Speedway. As your winner, Richard Clement, will pick up the big W, and we will see what he has in store for the future here on the back of John Garrett's machine. But for everybody tonight here in participation with this race, and all of us here with the Turn 3 Racing Network, that was Dave in the Cave, and my name is Roger Muth here tonight. We hope you all enjoyed tonight's show here from Talladega, and we can't wait to see you in Turn 3.